specifically this room. As you're veering up through a trap door in the floor, and above you is another small wooden room. Looks about the same shape and dimension as this one. No easy way to climb up. You're going to have to figure out how to... I mean, you can pretty much just grab it with your hands and hoist yourself up.
Yeah, I'll motion for everybody else to be quiet and try and quietly climb up into the room.
Okay.
Birdie looks at you with a very venomous look when you tell him to be quiet.
I motion. I didn't say anything.
Climbing up into this little chamber, it's a small, not uncomfortably small, like it's definitely human-sized. There's a small sleeping quarters, but very, very old. Hasn't been used in a long time. The floors and walls are made of wood. There's a wooden door closed in front of you here. The wall behind you, however, is stone. And it's a smooth stone, and it reminds you of the Obsidian Spire.
Listen at the door for a second.
Okay. You step over this old rotted bedroll on the floor. It doesn't look like it's dingy or decrepit. It just looks like it hasn't been used in forever. And you put your ear to the door, and it is eerily silent in this place.
Check the door for traps.
Okay.
That's an investigate of 24.
You don't find any traps. However, a lot of what you do when you check for traps, when you're checking little crevices alongside of a door with your tools, is you'll listen for the sound of your probe scraping against the wood or the metal. And you hear that sound, but more than hearing it, you feel it in your fingers. The sound of that scraping is very muted. But you do not find any traps on this door.
Try opening it.
You grab the brass handle and you open it up out into what looks like a hallway here. You see several more doors on either side of the hallway. And looking to the south, you see where these wooden slats on the floor. The north and south edge around the circumference are stone. And then there are stairs leading up.
I'll lay back down through the trap door, hold up one finger to indicate give me 1 minute, and then I will stealth my way up these stairs to see if I can find anything higher up before anybody else makes a bunch of noise.
Okay, all the way up the floor, all the way up the stairs?
Till I see something interesting, yeah.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start putting people's on the map here.
It's a stealth of 17.
Okay, and you're pretty good at stealth. You like to think so. And you're pretty good at not making sound. But no matter how silent you're being, you're always cognizant of some sound when you press your foot down to the floor. And you're not in this place. Your steps are completely silent. And you move up the stairs, coming up to here. And you gave your dark vision, right?
Yeah.
That's what you're relying on? Okay. This floor, looking at the ground, it's a fairly open room. You've got an alcove off to your right here that has shelves of many different ceramic jars and a large drawer in the bottom of it. In one jar, on one end of the shelf, instead of having a ceramic lid affixed to the top of it, it just has a series of what looks like ladles, handles poking out of it, 3 or 4 of them. On the floor of the room, you see an 8-pointed star. Lines traced along the ground. It looks like the floor itself is still made of boards, but it looks like what they've done is they've made a space in the boards and then laid out strips of stone to create this design of this star. Each of these points has a thin spire, like a wooden pole, coming up out of the point. And at the top of it's like a bed knob, like a circular apparatus is screwed onto them. And it's difficult.
Are those
to
also
tell.
made of stone? Okay.
It's difficult to tell because you can't discern color. Yeah. This one nearest to you is made of stone. Looking at it, it's not perfectly smooth. It looks like unworked iron, just a chunk of iron ore. connecting two of these spires. This one and this one. So you've got this bed knob at the top of this little spire, and affixed to the top of the bed knob is this little glass dish with some amount of powder in it. The bottom of the glass dish is has two places where chains can be affixed, and so they are, connecting there and there.
Continue up.
And keep going up?
Yep.
What are the rest of you doing down there?
He said give him a minute, and we're giving him a minute.
We'll give him about a minute.
Okay, after about a minute, he hasn't returned and you haven't heard anything from him.
Alright, let's creep up after him just in case something went wrong.
Red.
Mm-hmm.
Come over to this floor. You have wooden bookshelves with narrow passages between them in the center of this room. In the center of the bookshelves is a wooden table with two lecterns on it. There are wooden hallways branching off in this direction and in this direction. You can't see what's on the bookshelves from here.
Okay, that should be about a minute, so I'll head back down.
Okay. And Wendy,
yeah,
you more or less bump headlong into Red as neither of you hear each other coming up or down the stairs.
And bump in and say, did you find anything?
And you whisper, but he does not hear you.
And I'll say to Wendy, wait, is Birdie contagious now?
And he whispers, but you do not hear him either.
I'm not whispering. I was speaking in a normal voice at that
And
point.
he speaks in a normal voice, but alas, you do not hear him.
Birdie's contagious now. And I'll kind of make my way past Wendy. I'll take her hand since she might have a hard time if she can't hear. I'll just say to the group, can anyone hear me? I'm pretty sure Birdie's gone contagious.
And everybody just watches as Red's lips flap.
Raazu shakes her head, points to her ear.
I'll point at Birdie, and then I'll make a talking motion with one hand, and then a X, and then like a kind of branching, but that doesn't really work very well. It's hard. He doesn't do a good job of getting that part of the idea across.
Raazu turns, faces Birdie, and then starts making a talking motion with her hand.
Birdie starts to mouth a bunch of curse words.
And nobody can hear what Birdie is mouthing.
Adrex exits the way we came in.
The tunnel that you entered from, that you've been traveling through these caves for several days at this point, were pretty silent. Climbing back down into it after having been in that room, it's like stepping into an incredibly noisy room. In a way, it's refreshing, but all of the sounds and echoes and vibrances of this just empty tunnels that you've been traveling through are suddenly very vivid in your mind.
Mm-hmm. Can anybody hear me?
And you guys hear Adrex from the floor asking if you can hear him.
Raazu returns to the tunnel.
I'm pretty sure Birdie's gone contagious.
Raazu returns, says, "Yeah, I heard you say that. Did you hear? Can you hear me now?"
If Raazu's up in the room, you cannot hear her.
Raazu will crawl back down into the tunnel and then start trying to converse with Adrex.
And you can hear her just fine.
Oh.
Birdie jumps down in there and he tries to speak.
And you can't hear Birdie at all.
Birdie is now very sad.
Raazu points up into the. Raazu says, "Birdie, go up into the tunnel and actually try to talk."
I mean, I've already done that. Like, I'm down in the room when I try and speak.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Okay,
And then she
I'm
points
sad.
back up into here and says, or she just actually talk.
If I may pull the curtain back a little bit, I designed the dungeons before I populated them with magic items, and I thought it was hilarious that there was a cursed silence potion in the dungeon right before this one. Also, this dungeon would have been impossible in any other campaign because I'll just use the mind link.
Rari's, yeah, let's go.
So to
I
clarify,
feel like
Like, where are you?
Nobody can speak once they're up in this room, and Birdie can't speak anywhere anyway.
Okay.
All right, so I'll describe everything I saw when I was scouting. Do we have parchment and quill? Anybody? I only have the parchment and the quill from Captain Eyes, I believe. I don't think we want to use that.
Birdie has like a book, like an empty book that he confiscated that he's been writing in. Way back when we got
Adrex has a journal. I read it.
You're reading my journal?
Well, I'm not reading it anymore.
Oh. Adrex is self-conscious all over.
Alright, well there wasn't nothing attacked me on the first level, second level, so let's go up and take a good look. If we need to communicate, hand signals, and if you really need to, and I'll make a motion pointing down with 2 fingers, that means drop back down to where we can talk.
Have you tried a light source up here then?
I didn't need one, but I haven't tried it.
Raazu rolls her eyes and strikes a torch.
Okay, and you strike a torch, and I mean, you can hear the crackling and burning of this torch, but it sounds very far away, even though you're holding it right next to you.
Wendy heads into the room, grabs Birdie, and pulls him back out. Says, Birdie, give me a second, I want to try something. And takes out her hammer and chisel, and just, chisels the air inside Birdie's mouth. Birdie, try to talk.
What?
You still can't hear him.
And he just says, alright, it doesn't do that, come on.
What was the point of that?
Thought maybe it broke things like curses.
Literally breaking them.
Birdie's going to start down here and poke his head in all these little rooms.
Yep.
Okay. Along the left wall, you see 5 rooms more or less identical to the one that you came up through. And each one seems to have a similar trapdoor in the base, in the floor. All that's in here are very quaint little sleeping quarters, just enough for somebody to stretch out comfortably. The door where Red is at. Opening this door, it looks into a nice little tea room. You do find all the accoutrements you would need to make a cup of tea. You see a serving platter with nothing on it except dust and cobwebs at this point. That at one point might have been a nice silver serving platter. You could have served little cucumber sandwiches or little cakes on. Several comfortable places to sit, all very comfortably sized for medium-sized creatures. You also see in here a stove against the back corner. Something you can burn wood in to warm up the room. And again, the back wall, the curved portion, the outside wall, is smooth stone, reminding you of the obsidian spire.
Is there anything different about any of these rooms along this chamber if I go through?
No,
these little bedding rooms?
These just look like small servants' quarters.
Okay.
Adrex goes into the tea room and starts to look around a bit, and then he realizes that he still hasn't gotten hang of his wings and is cognizant of them, and is just knocking things over right and left.
And you all can hear the sounds of stuff clattering to the floor, but it sounds like it's happening very, very far away from you.
Wait, I'll come over here and I'll shout at Adrex. Wait, Adrex, can you hear me? Do I sound like I'm far away?
Adrex, you don't have any idea what he's saying.
Adrex shrugs.
Does Adrex hear that I'm making any noise? Or
Nope.
Okay.
Adrex just gives a sheepish look as he exits the room, thinking Red is yelling at him for knocking things over.
I picture Adrex reaching back and gathering his wings up in his arms and holding them real close as he walks out.
I mean, I guess I'll come in here and ruffle through all the stuff he knocked onto the floor. I'm not mad at him, but
A kettle and some
I mean, obviously Red isn't mad at you, Adrex. Come on, we've been at this for years.
Little metal cups, some silverware. He's disrupted some cobwebs. He knocked one of the little wooden stools over.
Mm-hmm.
The room's barely big enough to entertain maybe 2 or 3 people. It looks like somebody has done a lot of work to make the small space they had as comfortable as they could.
Okay.
What's next? I mean, your characters can't talk, but you guys can talk to me.
I assumed Raazu was doing something, but if she's not, I'll go to the weird star room.
This was just another bedroom, right?
Nobody's up
Yeah,
there.
sorry about that. Yeah, sorry about that. I was getting some water. I was standing guard on this floor until we were ready to move up.
Okay.
Well, let's poke our head into this floor right here, in this room, real quick.
Birdie,
I
what's
trust
into this
Birdie to
room?
handle that.
It is a larger bedroom, clearly sleeping quarters, but not for servants. You see a 4-post bed. It's not a really opulent bed, like it doesn't have like Ebenezer Scrooge curtains or anything. But there is a shape underneath the linens of the bed. Something or someone is laying in it. Also in this room, you see some empty shelves on one end and an empty table on your side as you come in.
Okay, well, I'll grab the corner. You said there's like sheets on the bed, basically?
Very dusty linens on the bed, yes.
Okay, well, I'll grab the corner of the sheet and yank them off.
And there is a musty, desiccated corpse laying in the bed, dressed in what at one point might have been serviceable finery, but is very old and moth-eaten at this point.
I will poke the... I'm going to just put an arrow in the dead body.
And the thing shudders and rattles for a second as you put an arrow into it.
All right, cool.
Can you give us a description of the star thing again?
Yeah. It's wooden boards in the floor, like the previous floor.
Uh-huh.
These black lines on the floor are actually here. They're inlaid with the same kind of stone made out of the wall. Like strips of this stone were mined out of the walls and carefully laid into the wooden floor. So it sits flush with the floor, making this nice design. There's wooden poles coming up at each of these points. On the end of each pole, you see what looks like a bulb or a bed knob. The one closest to you is made out of cold iron. And then affixed to the top of it is a small ceramic dish with some powder in it. There's a place to ceramic hooks on either side of this dish where chains can be lashed to. And there are indeed chains lashed here, connecting to a similar dish over here, and then one more connecting to a similar dish over here. There do not seem to be dishes on the ones that the chains are not connected to.
So there's a dish with a chain connected to it, and the chain connects from here to a dish over here.
Yes.
Okay.
I want to go through those clay jars.
Okay. Going to the clay jars, you find several dozen different kinds of powders that range greatly in color, coarseness, and odor. Some kind of alchemical supplies. Taste?
Yeah. I'm immune to poisons.
Roll a D100. Well, first make a Constitution saving throw. I guess I'll give you that much.
Okay. Is Raazu near me right now or not?
Yep.
Oh, she's standing right there. I see it.
Okay. Magical or non-magical?
Oh, very, very magical.
Okay. And it's +4, right, Raazu?
Can be.
That'd be a 23.
A 23? What
Yep.
class feature allows you to... gives you the magic resistance?
It's racial.
Right, but what is it?
Oh, what is it called? Magic resistance.
It's the Yuan-ti magic resistance. Okay.
Got you there.
I mean, he just said it was the racial feature for magic.
Okay. Red.
Mm-hmm.
Your stomach churns over multiple times as you kind of stick your finger in one of these random little ceramic jars.
Mm-hmm.
Put this powder on your tongue. Doesn't taste like much of anything. Like maybe sand. It's really coarse.
Okay.
But your stomach churns. And you hiccup. And an illusory butterfly sputters out of your mouth and flaps around. And
Should I still roll that D100?
A few moments... I've rolled it for you.
Oh, okay.
A few moments later, you hiccup again. And nobody can hear these hiccups. But you can definitely feel the convulsion of them. And within a few minutes, there's just this swarm of colorful butterflies dancing in the flickering torch next to you.
Are they like normal butterflies or magical? Like
No, they're
glowy
insubstantial.
or...
Like they're just
Right.
glowing lights, and your hand passes right through them.
I guess my question is, do they look like regular butterflies or just illusions, or are they like butterflies?
I don't know the difference between a regular butterfly and an illusion of a regular butterfly. They're these kind of ghostly flaps of wings in various colors.
Okay.
Flapping about your head. And it becomes hard to see after a few moments because your whole cone of vision is taken up by flapping butterflies.
Follow me around if I move?
Sort of. You really can't escape them because you're hiccuping.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to walk around the circumference of the room, checking the various posts,
Okay.
and seeing how
Starting here and
laid
going
out.
in the direction you're going. Because you do have a torch, so you can see the color of this material. This one here is made out of platinum.
Mm-hmm.
This one is made out of copper. This next one is made out of gold. This one is made out of bones. It looks like what has been done here is the finger bones, which you can tell from the joints and the thinness of them, that have been kind of interlocked and fused together into this knob shape.
Mm-hmm.
This next one is made out of very dark and polished lacquered wood that has a very pleasing smoothness to it. This next one is made out of granite. And this one, very familiar to Raazu, is made out of sea coral that has been chiseled into ball shape and then sanded so it has a nice polished exterior. As you step back into the cloud of Red's butterflies that he's yakking.
When you say these are knobs, do they turn?
Which one are you trying on?
The cold iron.
Okay. So when you go to touch it, you realize that the dish is just set on top of this knob. There's a little plug on the bottom of the dish that sets into a small indentation in the top of the knob. So if you try to turn this knob without moving the dish is going to fall off, spilling the powder and clattering these chains to the floor.
If I take the dish, will the chains come with it?
Yes. The ends of the chains have little latches that, kind of like a key ring, how they kind of latch onto these little ceramic hooks on the bottom side of this ceramic dish.
Does each of these
You can
each of
remove
these
the
posts
chains and you can lift the dish easily enough.
do the posts each have a dish themselves?
Only these three. This one here, the wood, and the gold.
All right, I'm going to go back over to this one and see what kind of powdered substance is in the dish over here, if there is one.
It looks like a mixture. You see several different colors, several different coarsenesses.
Same story over here?
Same story over there.
Okay, and again, same story back here at the cold iron one? Okay. Raazu pulses over this for a moment, then shrugs, and then gestures upward.
So, Wendy, are you removing the ditch or the chains or what?
Not yet. Let's keep going upwards for now.
On the way, I'll point to whichever one of the ones made the butterflies start happening, and I'll just kind of shake my head and make an eating motion.
Raazu gives a thumbs up.
Okay. So in addition to the shelf with the powders, there was also a heavy drawer and
I forgot
a
about
series
that.
of ladles.
Yeah, I know about the ladles. Was the jar with the ladles in it, did it have stuff in it? Well,
Just dust, but it had
Okay.
several different, basically measuring spoons of different sizes.
and yeah, let's non-cipher looking in that drawer too.
Inside, you find a small collection of interchangeable knobs of another variety of materials, and you feel a strange coldness from inside one of them.
Mhm.
There's a glass one, there's an unidentifiable yellow substance that has a little bit of give to it when you press your finger to it. It feels a little bit squidgy. One of these knobs is kept inside of a small cloth bag that is pulled shut. There's another ball that I have it listed here as pressed cloth. Have you ever seen one of those like washcloth that's been totally dehydrated and formed into a tiny compact shape?
Yeah.
So it's one of those. And there's one that you do recognize as the black obsidian. Same material as the spire.
Okay.
You also find 3 unidentifiably mutilated spellstones.
Mm-hmm.
And in the other side of the drawer, 8 different colors of wax candle.
I'll hand the spellstones to Birdie, actually.
Okay. And Birdie, your stomach sinks as you look at these spellstones. They're smaller than the spellstones you're carrying because somebody has literally broken them and worked them down into this ball shape and then put a metal screw base into it so it could be affixed to the poles.
Oh, they're also pole things. Okay, I'll leave them in the cabinet then.
Okay.
I'll motion for Birdie to give them back, and I'll send them the
How many mutilated spellstones?
3.
Okay.
Is there any? Can we tell like which one is which based on the remains of the runes or not?
No, impossible.
Okay.
Which is why Birdie is very upset now.
It has nothing to do with the fact that I'll probably never be able to speak ever again.
Is that really a bad thing?
Birdie,
Let's be honest.
looking into this drawer that Red has open, as you're looking over these spellstones and you're all depressed about it, the wax candles, there are 8 of them. 7 of them are standard colors: white, black, red, yellow, green, blue, and indigo. The 8th one is, to Red's eye, it just looks like a pale gray. And to you, it almost hurts to look at. Like you don't, it's like it's too bright to look at. It's painful to see. And you're not sure you've ever seen its like before.
I'll pick it up.
Okay, you pick it up.
And I show it to everybody else in the group. I just start waving it around.
Wendy, you're blind. Raazu,
Yeah.
you see Birdie holding up just this gray candle. Adrex, you see the most beautiful color you've ever seen in your life. Indescribable.
Adrex's jaw just drops open.
Raazu looks at Birdie like, what are you waving around here? Yeah, Raazu goes over to Birdie and looks at this candle a little more closely.
Yeah, it's just he's got this gray candle that he's wincing to look at. And
Wait, was it gray to red too? Sorry.
the one that Birdie is holding, yeah, looks gray to you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
And looks
Adrex
Birdie to
goes-
me.
The yellow squidgy stuff. Can you describe that again?
You just did.
Oh, I mean, like, what is it? Like, is it just like a?
It's
Is it
another
a container?
It's another
It's
knob.
another one of
It's
these
another knob.
knobs. Yellow, and it's made of something that's got a bit of squidginess to
Yeah,
it.
it's kind of spongy. It squidges a little.
What about this granite knob? Does anything happen if I take it out? Does it come out?
Latching onto it, yeah, it does unscrew. It takes some real work to get it, like it's been in place for a long time. But after a moment or two, it does come loose, and you're able to just unscrew it and pull it off. And yeah, there's just a little screw at the top of this wooden pole where you can affix another knob to it.
Can I brush the butterflies away with my hand, or does my hand just...
Your hand goes right through them as you continue to fill the room up with them. They're getting really obnoxious.
Wendy
Adrian,
just
wait.
walks through several butterflies, not even able to see them. It just comes over, takes one of the knobs.
And yet somehow you know they're there. Which one do you take?
Let's go with the glass one.
Okay, you pick up the glass one very gingerly.
And comes back and tries screwing it in.
And yeah, perfect fit. You screw it right in, and it gets nice and satisfyingly secure. There's no wobble or give to it. This is really nice work.
and what just walks over to Red and puts her hand on his face, and then just moves her hands up, making a smile, and then down, making a frown.
Red will just kind of make a horizontal, even, like, you know, the emoji with the dash underscore dash.
And Wendy just nods and puts the granite knob over with the others.
I'm gonna continue up because before we start experimenting with these, I'd like to read some of these books.
Okay. So I'm in the library room.
Let's start investigating these.
Okay, and the shelves are all empty except for one book.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the interesting thing. Red, you think there's a single book back here.
Okay.
Birdie, you think there's a single book right here. Adrex, you think there's a single book on this shelf back here. Raazu, I like how everybody's gravitating directly towards their books.
Uh-huh. We
Raazu,
love reading.
You think there's one on the inside shelf right here. And Wendy, you think all of the shelves are absolutely empty.
Do the lecterns have books on them?
No. There's
I'll
circular
grab my
table.
book and bring it over to the lectern and see if I can read it.
Okay.
Raazu pulls the book, the obviously single book down and takes a look at it and flips it open.
Okay, and you flip it open, and it's blank inside, blank pages. In fact, there's no title, nothing on the spine. It seems to be bound, however, in skin. The texture of it, dried skin, the way that like a Hobgoblin war chief might do. Red, yours seems to be bound up in wood.
Mm-hmm.
Adrex, yours is a very soft, velvety kind of book. Very beautifully made, perhaps by elves. And Birdie, you actually don't find a book, you find a collection of scrolls. You open up a scroll case, and inside are several scrolls, one nested inside the other.
So is my book blank as well?
It is, when you pull it off the shelf and open it up. Nothing in it.
Mm-hmm.
Are the scrolls blank?
You pop them open and unfurl a couple, and they are indeed.
Does Red have a book in hand?
Now, everybody's holding their books right now.
But he does actually have a book in hand, despite the fact that I only saw my book on the shelf, right?
No, you see Red holding a book. But you didn't see that
Okay.
book on the shelf a moment ago.
Okay, but it just kind of appeared as he pulled it off the shelf.
Exactly. You gravitated towards the only book you saw.
Okay.
So let's pull out a quill and some ink, and let's write "hello" on the first page of my book.
And you do so.
And I'll kind of motion like, look in your book, look at the first page.
Adrex doesn't look in his book, he just rubs it against his face.
Raazu flips open her own book, looks down in it.
Okay. And no, it's your empty page.
Birdie's over here on his. He's writing. Birdie is awesome, and Birdie was here on his scrolls.
What is Wendy doing during this time?
Wendy's just kind of running her fingers along the bookshelves.
Okay. Very smooth, nice work. I mean, you're coming away with layers of dust, but the bookshelves themselves are very good work.
I'll bring my book over to Raazu and hold it out towards her. Can she?
Yeah.
Oh, and I'll write underneath the "hello."
And you
Then
see
can
what
I
he
see-
writes in the book, yes, on the page.
Raazu scribbles in, "Yes, I can. Can you read this?" Hold the book
And
up.
I'll nod.
Raazu lets out a little sigh of relief and packs the book into her pack.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do the same.
Okay.
I'll pack mine up too, I guess.
You
Wendy's
slide
not
the
sure why,
scroll
but she
cases
feels mysteriously left out.
How crushed is the velvet on this book? Is
Is it like
really
a
crushed?
Would it make a fine cape?
What are these again?
These are just hallways leaving out the main chamber, and looking down them, you see several doors, 3 on either side before the hallway comes to an end. And there's a table with another candle sitting on the table at the end. And same thing down this hallway.
I'll go here and open the first door.
And inside is just a very small study room, not much more than a table and a chair with another empty candlestick.
Are all 3 the same?
Well, there's 6 because there's 3 on each side.
Right, the 3 on my side.
Yeah, you open the doors and they all look pretty much the same. Just a little quiet place where you can go in and study.
Are these walls made of wood or stone?
These ones here, when you exit, are made of wood. The curved part of the wall is made of the obsidian, but it looks like this has been they tunneled through it to make this addition.
Okay. Is the back wall made of obsidian?
No, when you go to the back wall, it's, again, made of wood planks.
And Red will come back out into the main room, shrug, and motion to go up another level of stairs.
Okay, and Red.
I was in hunts.
It had to be Red, didn't it? Couldn't it have been somebody more sensible? Red, you step up the stairs and you feel something pulling at your pack. Like your pack is not able to follow you up the stairs, but it is attached to your arms and your back. And this pulling sensation makes the cat start wigging out even worse.
Oh, I'm used to this one. I had that amulet before. I'll open up the bag. I'll open up my pack. I'm assuming that the book can't leave the room?
The book is stuck at the plane of the bottom of the stairs. You're not able to bring it up past the first stair.
I'll return it to the shelf where I found it.
Okay, and as soon as Red places it back down, nobody else is able to see it again. And your pack is chaos now.
Once Raazu will attempt it for just a moment, and then
Red will let out a sigh, and he's going to take a 5 minutes to organize his pack a little bit. Not completely. He's not going to roll the whole thing again, but just a little bit.
And then I'll go upstairs behind Wendy.
So Wendy and Raazu are heading up the stairs. I need to make sure I'm taking apart the right floors here.
Birdie also puts his scrolls back, properly defaced.
Adrex gives a goodbye rub
Wendy.
to the Velvet Book before going up.
Coming up into this room, there are wooden walls, as you can see, jutting out of the corners. You also can hear, again, very muted, very far away, a slight gurgling sound. There's a stone well built into the floor that this sound seems to be emanating from. On the far back wall is an alcove that essentially looks like a fire pit and exits up into a chimney leading upwards.
Wendy, hears something for the first time in this entire tower, runs down the stairs, grabs Red's arm, just drags him up the stairs.
Red, you're halfway through organizing your pack at this point.
Hastily stuffing things back into his pack.
And then she runs over to the well.
Red, there's a stone well, a good 2-3 feet off the ground, and you peer into it, and it's filled with crystal clear water. And it looks really, really deep.
Well, can't be any worse than the butterflies. How does it taste?
And I mean, you just dip your hands and you lift it to your mouth, and it tastes like fresh water.
So it's obviously deeper than the chamber would be going up the stairs, right?
Yes, by a large amount.
And how large is the pool?
It's about as big as you can see. These are 5-foot squares, so it's a good 7 feet around, maybe.
But it sounds like a gurgling noise?
Yeah, you hear the bubbling of the water as though it's being fed from beneath.
Yeah, Red will take off his pack and just dive in, start swimming down.
Start swimming down?
Yep.
How far down do you intend to swim?
Let's see. I can hold my breath for a minute, so, about 20 feet.
20 feet? You go down 20 feet, and this is past the point that you should have been swimming down into the library.
Right.
And there's no bottom in sight to this well. You do notice, though, that the deeper you go, the water does seem to get colder.
Mm-hmm.
The well does keep a uniform width as it goes down. Made out of stone bricks going around, not out of obsidian.
Swim back up.
And Red pulls himself up out of the well.
I'll kind of make a shivering motion and point down.
Raazu looks to this door right here.
Okay. You're looking at the door.
Wendy misunderstands and starts blowing air over him to dry him off.
Oh, thanks.
It's a wooden door. It looks similar to the ones that were down in the first level that closed off the sleeping quarters.
Tested, is it locked?
No.
I'll put my backpack on.
No, it has
Raazu
a brass
opens the
handle.
door.
It's not locked. You open it up, and it opens up into a small kitchen area. Food preparation. You see off to one side another of these wood-burning stoves. You see a very small, but more or less complete collection of cookware, pots and pans and things, some more silverware, some empty barrels, a few small wooden plates. It really looks like somebody was sent to an uncomfortable place and then tried to make it as comfortable as possible using the limited space they have. You're definitely not going to be making any gourmet meals here, but it's more than you would expect.
Buddy. Wendy can make gourmet meals anywhere.
Raazu grabs Wendy's sleeve for just a moment, draws her back toward the thing so Wendy can get her gust of air, get a feel for the room.
Actually, very similar in size and composition to the kitchen aboard the Deceit. It's just a small, compact area that has to be functional as possible. You could easily, there's no food here anymore, obviously, but yeah, it looks pretty good as far as kitchens go.
25 feet by 15 feet? That's bigger than my kitchen.
Probably bigger than the one in the Deceit then, yeah. So, little alcove.
Is there anything in this alcove?
Yeah, this is essentially a fire pit. So it has an iron railing around the outside of it, which you can easily step over. There's a layer of ash in there.
Is there a chimney?
There is, leading upwards.
How narrow is the chimney?
You could squeeze into it and climb up it.
Yeah, let's take a look.
And how high do you intend to climb?
I don't know, 100 feet.
It's going to take you a little while to climb up 100 feet. So you guys watch Red disappear up the chimney. He squeezes his way up. What's everybody else
It's
doing?
12 seconds. Can I action dash?
What are you guys doing in the next 12 seconds?
Raazu just has light here. And Wendy grabbed me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
How much soot is in the chimney on the way up?
Quite a lot.
Okay.
It'd be
it
gross
received-
coming down.
It had received very heavy use for a long time, but has not been used in a very long time. And climbing up 100 feet, this chimney does not give any indication of ending or narrowing, and the soot
Does it get
not seem
warmer?
anything. It does not. It stays pretty tepid.
I'll slide back down.
Hey, now Red's covered in soot.
And I'll kind of tug on Wendy's wrist a little bit and hope that she gets the idea.
Wendy, puts a hand on Red's wrist, feels that he's covered in soot, makes a face.
Raazu looks to Red and then points to the well.
I'm waiting for her to just pick him up and chuck him in.
Yeah, that's what Wendy starts doing. It starts dragging him over to the well, dunks him.
Look upon your face, upon the clear water. How dirty.
How
Come,
dirty.
Wash your face.
Come, wash your face.
You may think there is something to it, but it is in fact an ordinary well.
Ordinary well.
Alright, then let's climb out of the ordinary well. Put my backpack on again.
Okay.
When you're gonna blow dry me again?
And at this point, Wendy just makes a face again, starts blow drying him. Not again, though.
Same situation
Is
over
this
here.
door locked?
Same.
Is this door locked?
It's not locked. Same kind of door. Wooden door with a brass handle.
Turn it. Open it up.
And it's a storeroom. A lot of empty boxes and barrels in here. You smell the not disgusting odor of rot, but the smell of extremely old, desiccated food, leftover food from whoever it was here. It's not nauseating at all. It's way too old for that. But some of the barrels have ancient foodstuffs left over. This is where they kept all their supplies.
The hardtack may still be good.
You're gonna try it as you.
I don't know, is there any?
The butterflies accompany you down into the well. By the way, there's.
Okay.
You open it up, it's a store. It's Check's lighting store.
No, you don't find any hardtack.
Coming back this way, how long are the butterflies still hanging out, along the path I've walked so far?
Oh yeah, they're milling around.
They
everywhere
haven't
you're
faded
going.
yet? Okay. This place is gonna have a lot of butterflies by the time we're done.
It's gonna be like in Breath of the Wild, in the expansion, where you just see the line that you've traveled.
Oh yeah.
Guess we're going up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. I think I forgot one thing in that room. Let me double check my notes.
In the storeroom?
I did, yes. There is one other thing of interest in here. On one of the lower shelves, you find a cupboard where one of the doors is broken. It's the first instance you've seen of any kind of broken furniture. So one of the hinges has come off, and you see gouges and scratch marks on the wood there. The cupboard itself has a lock on the outside that's still affixed.
Raazu waves, tries to get Red's attention, then points to the lock.
I mean, the other hinge is broken. I can just pull the door off, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's inside?
Inside is kind of curled up in a ball in this little cupboard space is a child's skeleton dressed in rags. It's a good place to leave for the week, it being 6:34. I'll let you guys mull over this macabre skeleton that you found in a cupboard, a locked cupboard. Wendy, you have no idea what kind of recipe you would use something like that for.
Jerky?
Well, yeah, I mean, it wasn't a it might not have been a skeleton when it was put in there.
No, it would be like a pudding. You would use a skeleton for all the keratin.
Right, some kind of like marrow-based pudding.
Right.
Well, what I'm saying is it might have been a fresh child. Like, this place has been abandoned for a long time. I'm sure you have lots of recipes that use a fresh child.
Mostly those egg recipes.
Okay, I'm gonna go dark for a second, like tally up some experience. Red and Adrex get a little bit more experience than everybody else because they killed a bunch of spiders.
We're all 10 experience.
And I'm gonna go ahead and set up a straw poll. I'll be back in just a couple minutes. You guys figure it out.
Wait, weren't you 10 experience away from a level at one point recently?
A blip.
You were a blip away. Okay, that's not quite as much.
Let's see.
Alright, so who had the most creative idea?
Red. For tightening up. Well, the whole tightening up the wall, and then, like, well, proper procedure for climbing.
I gotta say, it is relatively creative for this party to use something in the manner of which it is intended.
Okay. Who furthered the party's goals the most?
Wendy. She's on fire, man.
Yeah. No, I'm good with that. Who was the badass? Gotta say, there was a very dead spider, thanks to Adrex.
Yeah.
He killed the shit out of that spider.
Multiple spiders. I only killed some spiders. And then intangibles?
Raazu's inability to hit the spoopy thing. I rolled a 1 against it, I rolled a 3, and then I rolled a 1 against it.
I don't care.
I feel like Birdie might be someone. We might have to actually get him like a treatment for depression after this curse.
Do you know how hard it's going to be to give people lip when I can't speak?
Well, you're no worse than the rest of us for this tower. And hopefully after that we'll find a solution. Maybe you should try one of these powders.
Right. Yeah. Okay. And then have, knowing my luck, like a fireball would go off centered on me.
How hard it must be for you to lose one of your abilities.
It is awful. I can tell you what. I don't know how I'm going to live with myself.
I don't know how you already live with yourself.
Pretty well most of the time, actually.
That's me, Yuan.
I like how you guys had labeled it scroll book. Like, So, Nodal, I do need to know.
Yeah.
Why do you use the text tool here?
Yeah.
But you draw the letters here.
Okay, so here's the answer to that question.
Yeah.
Is I started drawing the letters here, and then you just kept saying words, and I deleted what I drew, and then typed it out.
Okay.
And that's the answer.
Okay.
I did my best.
I do like how you rearrange the glass and the granite when you change their positions.
I was
We
on
got
top of
it now.
that.
Okay. Who wants to do their blitz first? Who wants to make a case?
I'll be quick.
You'll be quick. Okay.
Yep. I have Raazu's alignment, which is good and evil or subjective distinctions. What matters is keeping to your own ethics.
Mhm.
For no dissent and letting the Kobold go, he's the trap maker.
Okay.
Ideals: work hard, play harder. I earn my leisure time, and by Osprey, I use it to my fullest. For brandishing the whip at Birdie to make him work on the magical items.
So, does Raazu consider it her fault that Birdie can't talk now?
No,
Fair enough.
fair enough.
Is that it?
That's all I got.
Wendy, what you got?
Alright, I have... learning new things is never wasted for Wendy's experiments with making a cross-shaped python to get the dim light torch lit.
Okay.
I've got, wait, how does that work? For, we should stay in the room with the evil undead and find out how it works and what's going on.
Or just literally everything in this new dungeon here?
Uh-huh. I've
else?
got, our place in the world is to take apart what isn't working and make something that is. For Wendy's very incredible efforts on teaching Adrex how to fly. And I've got good as helping others for freeing the fire elemental.
Adrex, what you got?
Quote, fire elemental.
There's like
What does Adrex got? Aspect, signature style, energetic for continually attacking that rust monster while at disadvantage and making no effort to try and see.
Okay.
Flaws, that sounds like a great idea for completely going against his intuition of, yes, we should totally remove the cover from that sarcophagus. And my cool friends and I are working to make the world a better place. It has fallen to me to try and protect them. Oh dear. For getting over his newfound fear of flying to jump down and help out the fire elemental and Wendy.
I'm going to go on a limb and suggest that Destil knows what this fire elemental actually was.
oh, I think we all know.
Yeah, I think everybody
Yeah.
knows. We had a whole city of them in the last campaign.
That's true. And I don't remember any of them granting you a wish.
Yeah, how did we let that go by?
So, my notes here. It says, granting this wish is the only way she's able to leave the material plane. She will grant the wish to the single creature she perceives to have freed her, but due to her evil nature, she will pervert this wish to the best of her ability.
I knew that was coming.
And then she
See,
gave
that's
you
why you
spare
don't get
tools.
selfish when you free people.
She immediately gave you tools, which you use to cut your stoneworking time in half.
Oh, they're just straight up tools?
Hmm?
Great. They're just straight up chisel? Nice.
It's just a hammer and chisel is what she gave you. That's all.
She can't fuck that witch up pretty badly.
Adrex, do you have anything else?
No, that's good.
Birdie, what you got?
The accumulation of magical knowledge is something that makes me most useful to my tribe in the ultimate task of pleasing my patrons, so they won't get eaten for identifying as much of that stuff and giving up my ability to backsass in the process.
Okay.
Is it worth it?
Time will tell, but the answer is probably not. And the video. That's all I got.
Okay.
Oh, I have adrex.livejournal.com.
Oh, do you?
I do.
He does. It's really good.
We'll see about that. Red, what do you got?
Alright, so I've got the ideal cold hard logic will not suffer to argue those who are motivated by something as fleeting as emotion for his attempts to get Adrex to get over his fear of flying and involving him in his climbing attempts.
Okay.
I've got my flaw. It's often best just to do what needs to be done. Explaining it to the others would be a waste of time. I mean, I know that's a little, but now that we can't talk to each other for diving down the well and climbing up the chimney.
Okay.
And I believe that's it.
We're level 12 now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So blips are worth 666. We give 1 blip for the most creative solution to a problem this session. Who that is?
It's Red for using his climber's kit in the originally intended way. Creative in this context of the party.
Who furthered the party's goals the most this session?
Wendy for being the diplomat, basically.
Yeah, we made the joke that she was on fire during this session.
Who was the badass?
Adrex.
Killing spiders.
Adrex, yeah, he took on those CR 1/4 spiders. Woo! He
Listen,
got
he
him.
kicked the shit out of those CR 1/4 spiders.
Yeah.
He did kill the shit out of them.
I didn't
yes.
see you out there in the trenches.
You have 1 for intangibles?
Raazu for her abysmally terrible dice rolls. Her ability to hit that sarcophagus thing was very intangible.
And Birdie takes our straw poll this week.
Pity blips.
Okay. For the Gear Forge in the sarcophagus, everybody's taking 460 experience. Red and Adrex for valiantly slaying 6 giant wolf spiders are taking 75 experience each.
Nice.
And don't worry, there are really gross things to fight in this tower where you're currently at.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, blips. Raazu, I've got 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Wendy, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6? No, 5. Adrex, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Birdie, I've got 1, 2, 3. And Red is also taking 3. And when we reconvene next Sunday, we have the D&D version of A Quiet Place.
Okay, that puts Raazu up a level.
Nice.
So what level?
11.
Oh, does Raazu grow wings too?
Yes.
Just flexes.
Yeah.
Osprum's not going to like that.
She grows gills instead.
That
dorsal fin.
Adds an additional D8 of damage to all of her smites. So just
Nice.
throw more D8s. Let me check my spell lists and make sure that we'll get a third level smite now.
Nice.
So those third level smites are going to be 5 D8.
Gross. Those
Yeah.
kobolds didn't do nothing to deserve that. Alright, that's going to do it for us, guys. I'll be back on tomorrow to play some more of whatever that game I was playing was.
Uh-huh.
World of something or other. And we'll be back next Sunday for the conclusion of this very great dungeon.